fact, advocate for American citizens as a whole to pay less taxes?
With Trump's plan, it did help middle class.
That's
And
not what I asked you.
okay, well, right now, no.
Okay, well, we're in his current tax plan, so cool. All right. Roe versus Wade repeal. Did that create bigger government or less government?
Less government because it gave power to the states.
No, it did not. It put more government control in because now instead of just keeping it under the umbrella of federal protection, now you have all 50 states government dealing with it in a completely different way. That's literally scattering and creating more government, right?
No,
So
no, it's
yes,
not.
it is. Absolutely. Do you want 50 people's hands on this shit, or or like freaking messing this shit up, or do you want just like a minimal government interference? That the only thing is that it's federally protected. That's it. Now you have the governor of Utah. Now you have the government of Texas. Now you can have the governor of Florida. Now you have the governor of Maryland. This is a straight up mess that is antithetical to conservative values.
Exactly, but the people vote for it. It's up to the people.
Wait. So people voted for Roe versus Wade to get repealed. Can you show me where that happened?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, Bell. You said it.
No,
Hold on.
you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. People can vote for what they want in their
No, they
states.
can't, because in 28 states they took it off the ballot. So let's go ahead, right? Let's go ahead and talk about this. If it's taken off the ballot, can you actually vote for it?
No.
Oh, wait, hold on a
Hold
second.
up a minute. What states
So-
took it off the ballot?
Let's see. We have 28 states, and I'm just gonna name a few off the top of my head: Georgia, Texas, Florida, and there's like 25 more. I live in I actually live in Texas, and that's actually found under Section 170. Right, so yeah, so if you're taking it off the ballot, you've taken it off the hands of the people, and now you've created a bigger governmental issue by default.
Well, then the
Subhanallah.
people are gonna have to fix that in that.
Wait,
state.
wait,
They're
wait,
gonna
wait,
have
wait.
to elect a new governor or a new right.
That's not how that works. Okay, so now we're over here, right, advocating for bigger government after. So Trump's not a conservative. Stop with that. So now can we get into the meat and the potatoes of the argument here? So yeah, actually, since we're talking about civil liberties, and guys, I'm now dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Go ahead and drop me some comments over there. We're almost at 3,000. All right, so how is Trump making America great again right now?
By instilling conservative values.
I've just showed you that he doesn't follow that shit.
You didn't show me that he doesn't follow that shit. Come on, that's like literally an agenda
Yeah,
47.
literally
Conservative
no.
values,
Roe
nuclear
versus
family.
Wade was not the repeal of Roe versus Wade was not found anywhere in Agenda 47. Secondly, right, I've just showed you how we've created bigger government and not smaller government by literally dispersing it around 50 people's decision making.
Yeah, but
That
now
is
hold up
not
a minute.
that is
Hold up a
not
minute,
making
because
that is
smaller
not.
government. What's the okay? What would be the definition of smaller government?
Can
Right?
you address
By
my claim?
states. What's your claim again, please?
Okay, cool. So putting it in the hands of 50 different governors, is that creating a bigger governmental problem or a smaller governmental problem?
I don't see the problem. I don't see
Yeah, the problem is your conservative values, right? So I'm challenging Trump is not conservative values if he's making bigger government, and that's exactly what happened when he appointed the judges for Roe versus Wade. And that's just one
Okay, so
example.
are you telling me that you would have gotten what you wanted with Kamala as a Republican?
So
Because for
let's see.
me-
Okay, yes, actually, and I'm actually able to back that up.
How?
Yeah, so I want the lower. Did you take a look at her tax plan on page? What was it? She actually had an economic plan. Trump didn't really. So on page 79, right? By the way, Mark Cuban and other people, geniuses, helped her put that together, right? There actually would have been bigger tax breaks, right, for the lower middle class compared to Trump's tax plan, right? Yeah, I absolutely would be down for that. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a conservative value, right? Having those people pay less taxes. Yeah, so not every president gives me exactly what I want, right? But what I want is the betterment for the American people, right? And adding 4.4 trillion to the debt while giving, right, tax breaks to the top 5%, when we know trickle down economics has never been a thing, is something that I advocate against because it is quite literally antithetical to a conservative value.
Okay, so I would like to give you my stance first of all. I'm a Republican. I'm a Republican, and I've only voted Republican.
Well,
I'm
okay,
not,
so you're a
I'm
sheep.
not- 1 second, please. I'm not very conservative, and I'm really not. Also, I'm not MAGA. I work with what my party gives me. Okay, my
Well,
party
he gave
gave
you
me
garbage.
Trump. No, I don't think he's garbage. I got lucky,
He had an
but I also like the
8.4
man. I like the man.
You like a grapist?
No,
And a 34
don't
count
go
felon?
there. I will.
No,
try.
I'm gonna
If
go
you-
there
if
'cause
you
I'm gonna
start
pull up the
talking
court case.
About that shit, I'm leaving.
Okay, well,
You guys always bring it to the
he
grape
raped E.
apologist
Jean
there.
Carroll against her will, settled in a civil.
Are you
I'm
telling
going.
me?
I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there.
So you're calling the whole country grape apologists? Then that's how many
Yeah.
people voted for this man.
If you defend
They're
Donald
all
Trump,
grape
yes.
Apologists? Is that what you're telling me?
You're telling me that the whole country voted for Trump? How many people actually
Not
voted for
the
Trump?
whole country. How many?
That's
people
what you just
voted?
said.
All of those
79
people
million.
that voted. Okay, 79 million. You're
The
telling
answer
me
is yes.
79
The answer is yes.
Seriously, Chris?
The answer is yes. So I will keep talking about it until you drop off the panel because quite literally, right? I see it's getting under your skin, so let's talk about it. So you're telling me that penetrating a woman with a male member against her own will is not grape. Page 7 of the court case. Here we go.
What you talking about?
Did you read the court case or?
Yes, he was found liable.
Ah, beautiful. So now, with that being said, and only liable because of the statutes of limitations. Actually, 60% of grape victims never report. So E. Jean Carroll was brave for that, and the fact that you're defending that is absolutely.
How many years later?
Okay, why does that matter? Do you know why,
Why are
that
you
happened?
victim blaming?
When he's.
Do you know why that happened? Do you know why that happened?
Victim
She actually
blaming.
told, and her relatives actually told, for the reason why, because she was scared of some billionaire rich person going after her. You've got to be joking me.
Why would he have gone after her after so many years?
Because
She decided to report it now that he was running for president.
Hold on. Let me say one more thing, then I'm going to
Now
let.
that he's
Hold
running
on,
for
Bell. So I'm about to debunk your old claim right here. The first lawsuit was filed in 2016. Didn't Trump run for president again? The first lawsuit was filed in 2016. Didn't Trump run for president in 2016?
Yeah.
All right, there you
She
go.
decided
You've
to-
literally just been debunked on that one. Nurse,
No, I
go.
was not debunked. You literally just proved my claim. I said
Actually,
she
no,
decided to
because-
report it after he ran for president.
So the whole thing is, she wouldn't have sued him for that if he hadn't gone after her on social media. He made it public. Her book
Yeah.
wasn't even doing that particularly well, and he blew it up and started defaming her and went to court for defamation. And they said, in order to prove the defamation, you got to prove the grape. So that's what she did.
100%.
So
So-
he made it into a case when it wasn't previously a case.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Trump.
He
So
made
Trump's
her
the
a lot
one
of
that
money.
decided to.
Made her a lot of money.
Well, actually, no, because E. Jean Carroll was already rich when that all happened. So her net
How much
worth was.
money
Worth was 5 mil, I believe.
Yeah,
That's
it was
a
like
lot of
that was
money,
way
man.
more than when she began. So now I'm gonna go back. So since
After her job
since you
when
want
he went after him.
yeah,
of
so
money.
since you want to defend grape, which is absolutely fucking
I'm not
disgusting.
defending grape.
You
I
literally
am not.
you're defending a filthy, disgusting orange grapist
I am
who literally
not.
used
That
his
is not
presidential
orange.
power, to also bring another filthy, disgusting rapist,
have an orange race
Andrew
now? Do we have an
Tate.
orange race
His
now?
skin is orange because he uses a overly amount of spray tanner. So with that
Chris,
being
can
said,
I-
He's also a P3DO, and you're defending
hold
that.
on. I wanted to go about this a different way because I heard
yeah.
Bell mention that it was civil. And do you know what a forensic nurse does? Bell, do you know what a forensic nurse's job is by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I do. I am, besides trauma and ER, I am a forensic nurse part-time.
Oh, nice. Congratulations. Very nice.
And so the whole thing, when people bring up the difference between a criminal and civil case of grape, it's not that much different, really, in a court of law, simply because proving grape beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal court is impossible unless there's like photos or witnesses, firsthand witnesses. And honestly, there's very rarely firsthand witnesses. I hate to admit this, but it made news, so I'll admit this. we had a patient graped in our waiting room, right? We have cameras in our waiting room. This was in a camera blind spot. So technically, they saw them going back to the corner, but they did not see the grape occur. And it was in a waiting room for a hospital ER. This made news, so or else I wouldn't be talking about it because, and FYI, she wasn't my patient, or else I also wouldn't be talking about it. But, it's very rare that there is a witness to these things to prove it beyond a criminal doubt. And unfortunately, this is why a lot of criminal cases are prosecuted, or they're not prosecuted because they aren't slam dunks.
Correct.
So the whole reason when the civil and criminal, they made this a law, they made it a law for pediatrics to go after their offenders years later, mostly because of the Catholic Church, but because also a lot of the times kids don't report for a really, really, really long time. And then they came and said, well, if we're doing it for kids, we should probably do it for adults, because many victims don't come forward at all. And in fact, we do something called anonymous kits, where essentially we do collect evidence, but they don't run the kit and there's no name attached to the case. So if they decide to report them, we send it in and we run it. But essentially it's just sitting in an evidence locker. So I really would love to get them tested, because that way we can find out if we have repeat offenders. But it's against.
Linz makes a good point. I'm sorry, Linz, just give me one. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. 1 second. Linz makes a very good point. They sit in the evidence lockers. I want you to hear that. They sit in the evidence lockers. How many kits go untested and unprocessed? More than you can imagine. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it was over 1,000 before it made news.
That's also, there's a backlog in a lot of places. Luckily, my state doesn't have a backlog. But also, we don't count the anonymous kits in the backlog because the victims are choosing not to report yet. So you can't count it in a backlog. Backlog's like they're ready to be ran and they're not running it.
Exactly. Agreed. But the fact, Belle, that you want to sit here and say, well, why didn't she come forward? Why didn't this? First of all, you're victim blaming. So absolute shame on you for that. As a survivor of CSA, SA, and DV, screw you for that. And then furthermore, to say, well, why wasn't anything done sooner? You have no idea when this woman talked to people. You have no idea what she went through prior to talking to people, including going through depression, anxiety, self-deletion ideation, and probably debating whether or not her own life was going to be in jeopardy because of how much money and how much power this schmuck has.
One of the friends told her don't go, she told her a friend or two, and then she told her therapist, and the friend told her not to go forward because he was too powerful.
Correct.
So I mean, no offense, even as a forensic nurse myself, if that happened, I'd be like, oh well, maybe you're right. You can't help but start to think that. So
but to be afraid, absolutely, yeah.
And I can't blame her for that. And also, if you've heard her talk about it in interviews, you can see that I hate to say it because she's a survivor, but you can tell it still affects her to this day. She sounds genuinely broken from it.
Yeah.
Trauma never leaves. Absolutely. You just learn how to deal with
for the
it.
record, by the way, most forensic nurses got into it because they were victims of either DV or SA. So,
Yeah.
We just, have to heal from our own trauma before we do it. In fact, for years, I wanted to be a forensic nurse, and the head of my program was like, you're not ready. And then one day she's like, you're ready. So, and that's what I like to tell people, is that it's not about the time people wait to come forward. It is a very hard process. Now, I've got some great detectives in the county where I live. One of them, I had one patient where she wasn't sure if she wanted to go forward. She didn't want to do an anonymous kit. She wanted everything to be processed. But then she was like, but what if there's nothing found? And the officer was great. She goes, if there's nothing found, you can lead the choice of how aggressive we go at this. If you want me to interview everybody involved, I will. And she goes, if you just want me to tread lightly, I will.
Just real quick, can we get an L Bell in the chat, please? Because that was absolutely fucking disgusting, by the way. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.